Hello, everybody. I want to thank you all for jumping on this video, jumping on the PowerPoint. I know a lot of this information for our spring sports informational meeting can be kind of boring. Another reason why I wanted to have this online again rather than in person. I think it's a lot easier for myself, for the athletic office, for the school, as well as for you guys, not to sit through a 35, 45 hour long PowerPoint presentation listening to me talk about some boring stuff. Some much needed things, but some boring stuff. So again, I want to thank you for jumping on here and taking the time to listen to me and all the fun and awesome things I have to talk about. So again, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Kyle Sasala. I'm the athletic director. Been here for the past 2 years as the assistant athletic director, and then 1 year as the athletic director. Took this position back in end of May, early June. Alex Rice, he is our new assistant athletic director. If you have not met him yet, but he joined us back late June, taking my position. He's a great asset to the athletic office as well as Fenwick. Does a great job. He was previously over at Kings High School as the assistant athletic director, and then Sycamore High School for the as the assistant athletic director as well. Amy Anders, if you don't know who she is by now, that's probably a good thing and a bad thing. Obviously, if you don't know her, maybe your son or daughter has not gotten hurt yet, which is fantastic. But if your daughter or child or daughter or son have gotten hurt, you probably more than likely know who she is. But she is our athletic trainer. She does a great job with all the coaches, with all the parents, and especially the student athletes, keeping them safe and making sure that they can get back on the field, the court, as soon as possible. Moving forward, I want to talk a little bit about the Bishop Fenwick Athletics purpose. So we want to use education-based athletics as a platform to transform student lives. And what I mean by that is we always have to remember, the athletic team, the field, the court is just an extension of the classroom. So moving forward with the transformational coaching, I want to have or make sure our coaches have some type of impact on our student athletes. It's as I would say, I know it's kind of cliche, but it's bigger than the X's, bigger than the O's, bigger than the wins and losses. This is a place for our coaches to have an impact. Again, most of the time, your child, your son, your daughter are around our coaches, our faculty members, staff members, teachers, whatever you want to call it, more than almost you are. So, and they have a tremendous impact on our students, on our youth, and we want to use that to better our student athletes and get them ready for their next journey in life, because this is just a quick stop for them. I want to make sure that they are, our coaches are developing and are developing our student athletes, not only into just great students, not into just great athletes, but just great characters and people and students in general. Again, it's a great to learn all the X's and the O's, how to pass, how to shoot, how to do this, how to do that. But we are here to teach them how to develop and grow as an individual, and using education based athletics as a way to develop our student athletes. I want this to be a learning experience for the student athletes. Again, kind of similar to developing this. There are things that they may not learn in the classroom that they will learn on the court, on the field, through their coaches, through the athletic office, through what they are learning playing their sport. So again, I want this to be a positive and fun learning experience for them. Accountability, that's huge. I want to make sure that the student athletes understand that they are being held accountable. They again, jumping back to learning experience, accountability and learning it kind of go hand in hand. We want to make sure that they are being respectful, that they can take onus for their actions, and just grow as a student athlete, as an individual, and better themselves as an individual. One of the things I want to add and make sure that everyone is aware of is, I want to make sure that they know that athletics is a privilege and not a right. It's a privilege to wear the Fenwick Falcon jersey on the court, play on the court, be associated with the team. So again, I want to make sure that everybody understands that it's not a right. It's a privilege, and a great privilege, being a a student athlete in high school myself, I took a lot of pride in wearing my high school colors, and being a part of a great team and a great culture. So again, just want to make sure you guys are aware of that. And last but not least, I want to make sure that you guys all understand that we're here to make sure the student athletes have a positive and fun experience. When I was growing up playing, I always, huffed and puffed, going to practice, going to games, doing this, doing that, and I think that trickles into the student athletes nowadays too as well, who see they're playing their sport as more of a job rather than having a positive and fun experience. We're here they're here for 4 years. We want to make sure that we again have an impact, make sure that they are learning, holding them accountable, and again having a positive and fun experience, because 97% of the time they are not moving on to the reality of it is they're not moving on to play a college sport, to play in the NFL, to play in the NBA, to play at the next level. So we want to make sure that it's a positive and fun experience that they can take with them for the rest of their lives, and say that they had a great time at Fenwick High School and participating in whatever sport that they participate in. Moving on, I want to talk a little bit about our head coaches. This is our head coach directory for spring. We have a lot of new head coaches, a lot of new faces, some similar from last year as well, but some new coaches that we have on from this year. Boys volleyball, Tina Gusley was our assistant boys volleyball coach last year, and I think she has done a great job with our student athletes and building a great team and a great culture for the boys volleyball program. So it was a no-brainer for me to hire her as the boys volleyball coach. Track and field is staying the same for Chris Buckler. Boys lacrosse, Patrick Popoulos will be moving into the head role, and Coach Keegan will be moving back and taking a step back and kind of using that, or kind of retiring, not really retiring, but sitting back as the new JV head coach. So Pop and Coach Keegan are kind of taking a flip. Girls lacrosse, I'm super excited about this one. Same as I was for Tina. Chris Tanaka is going to be moving it forward as our girls lacrosse coach. I think he will do a great job. Has been super involved with the program, the school as a general, the community, and he brings a lot of great wealth and knowledge of girls lacrosse to this program and to the school. So I'm really excited about that one. Baseball, Chris Stratton, same old. Chris has been here for I think almost going on 10 years. And Chris does a phenomenal job and has built a great program with the baseball team. Softball, again, I'm excited about this one too as well. Mike Molesky is moving forward as our new girls softball coach. Mike has, again, just like Chris, a wealth of knowledge in softball. He currently is an official for football. Official for softball, basketball, baseball, does it all, and also has previous tenures over at Loveland High School as the JV coach and other different coaches as well, or coaching positions as well. Boys tennis, just like the fall for girls tennis, Sierra Phillips is going to be stepping in as our boys tennis coach. She did a really great job in the spring with the girls, and is learning the program better and better and better. And I see her just continuing to grow and do a great job with the boys tennis team. So if you have any questions for coaches, please feel free to reach out to them and send them an email. Moving on, I just want to, hopefully by now you all know that we are a part of the OHSAA, which is the Ohio High School Athletic Association. This is the association that we are a part of, that most schools are a part of. It's the Athletic Association. So if you have any questions about that, please see that link, the OHSAA preseason information, just some bits of knowledge of great information. So feel free to check that out. Sportsmanship is a big component for myself and for the school. I just like we talked to the student athletes about having great sportsmanship. We want to make sure that the fans, the coaches, everybody in the building that is associated with Fenwick has great sportsmanship, and that includes the parents as well. So please take a look at that parent fair play code. Just again, some great resources. The OHSAA Respect the Game that they have, their little slogans that they have. Some more great resources right there. But please just check those out. and make sure that we are creating a great atmosphere, environment, and having some great sportsmanship on and off the court, both parents and players, as well as coaches. And the last little bullet, it's a funny fan. I just want to make sure that you guys know that this is intended to be funny. It's just a funny YouTube video that some guy mimicked how some fans can act, spectators can act in the stands, on the sidelines. So please just watch that video and please understand that it's a funny video, but this is sometimes how some fans and spectators can act. So we want to just make sure we have great sportsmanship and learn from videos like that. Moving on, talk a little bit about the meat and potatoes. So final forms and eligibility. Please make sure that your student athlete has a final forms account if they want to play a sport. Every student athlete needs to be green, and what I mean by green is they need to be registered. They need to on final forms. They need to have a valid physical, and all forms need to be signed on final forms. So, like I said, all green. And if you're red, please jump on final forms as soon as possible to complete those forms or send in your physical. You can also, as student athletes and parents can now upload physicals instead of sending it to the athletic office, the front office, to myself or Alex. You can now upload those physicals, and Alex and I will get an email from you or from Final Forms, and we will actually update that on our end. So that's a great resource and a great new addition to Final Forms is to upload physicals. Please know that all forms must be signed, as well as a physical on file before any type of participation can happen in athletics. A little bit about some eligibility. They must be at school. Student athletes must be at school 10 a.m. to be eligible to participate that day. That includes practices, liftings, things like that, games. But if they have an excused absence, please make sure that Mr. Umberg and the front office have your excuse. And if you have an excuse, you are good to go as far as being eligible to play that day. Continuing with eligibility, you must be enrolled and passing 5 1-credit hour classes. Please know phys ed does not count as a full credit; it only counts as a half credit. But again, like I like to preach, we are student athletes. Obviously, a student first, athlete second. Athletics is just a byproduct of the classroom. So please make sure that we are having our student athletes and our students staying on top of their academics, because that's obviously what is most important here is being a student. So the OHSAA, or actually the Fenwick GPA requirement is to have a 2.0 or higher. That is, again, that's a Fenwick standard eligibility. The OHSAA is 1.8 or higher, but again, we like to hold our student athletes to a higher standard. So they must have a 2.0 or higher at the end of the grade period to participate in the next grade period. If they are below that 2.0, what Mr. Umberg does is he every 2 weeks he will do a grade check, and if they are above that 2.0 grade check or 2.0 GPA grade check, then they will be able to participate for the rest of the semester. But again, if we can just stay on top of our students, your son, your daughter, just to make sure that they are doing everything that they need to do in the classroom so that they are eligible for for athletics would be great. Moving forward, communication and playing time. I want, as I preach in my coaches meetings and all my meetings and how I preach, I want open and honest, transparent, and in real-time communication, just to ensure that we're all on the same page. I don't want to see, if there's something that's bothering you or there's a conflict, please let the coaches know. But again, I want an open, honest, transparent, and in real-time communication, just so that we're all on the same page in real time, and that's so that at the end of the season, it doesn't blow up at the end of the season on maybe the student surveys or just blow up in general. Playing time, I really am preaching that this playing time is between the player and the coach. I want this to be, I'm kind of skipping ahead, but I want this to be a learning experience for the student athletes. I want them to take initiative. I want them to know that There's going to be some type of adversity, throughout their playing time, throughout their time at Fenwick, throughout their time in life in general. So I want to make sure this is a learning experience for them and that they can take initiative and be accountable, and use their voice and use their voice accordingly, and have a great conversation with coach if it's something that they don't necessarily like. Any other questions that are maybe outside of playing time that are maybe need to be addressed immediately with coach or me, please send coach an email. And the way that I like to do it too is, please talk with coach first. And just like any other job, you don't want someone or a parent going straight to the top. So please respect the communication channels. And if you have any questions other than playing time that need to be addressed, please address them with coach. And I will obviously step in if things do not get resolved in a timely manner. So please just understand that. All right. Moving forward, transportation. This is a new one for this year. Transportation has been a nightmare for those student athletes, for those families that have been in a winter sport as well as a fall sport. You all know that there are some times where there are cancellations midday. Most of these are out of our control, if not all of them are out of our control because there are such low drivers. There's plenty of buses, but there's really not that many drivers. We are kind of landlocked to Middletown transportation. We used to use First Student and Queen City, but they have basically told us that they cannot even support their drivers and their trips, let alone our trip. So we are kind of pigeonholed to Middletown only. And from what they have told us and what I've experienced is that they will not be able to do any trips before 4:15 p.m. And that's even a stretch. They have their day-to-day routes that they have to do first before they can even service Fenwick. So that means self-transportation will have to be utilized for early games. I know the baseballs, the softballs, the tracks, they start maybe a little bit early. So that means that there will be self-transportation for softball, baseball, and track. Again, not necessarily ideal, and I don't necessarily like not having any transportation for those sports, but it's just the reality of it. Again, just want to make sure that everybody knows that it's out of our control, and this is the kind of the hand that we've been dealt. Not only for Fenwick, but other schools and other athletic directors that I talk to are dealing with the same issues and the same problems, and they're having to get rid of busing left and right. So just want to be super transparent and honest and open, just like I talked about the communication process. Moving forward, athletic fees. All athletic fees will be $300 regardless of participation in prior sport. That's also regardless of if they take a bus or if they self-transport. I just want to make sure everybody is on the same page that all athletic fees will be $300 regardless. A fee will be charged basically for any lost or damaged uniforms and equipment that is not turned in at the end of the season. All fees, as many of you know, as most of you should know, that will be billed through fax, just like your payments for tuition. Everything will be billed through fax. So no more cash, no more checks, no more this, no more that. So everything will be online through fax to make everything a lot easier. For spring participation, we'll have an April payment. So be on the lookout for that. Again, you can talk with Brenda Steer in the business office if you have any questions, concerns, or if you need to set up some type of payment plan or have any type of concerns or questions about that. Moving forward, the athletics website and social media. Hopefully by now fenwicksports.org is our athletic website with all of our athletic rosters, information, coaches, contact information, my information, everything you need to know for athletics is on that website. If you can't find something on the website, please shoot Alex or I an email and we will easily find it for you. We do use Twitter a lot. Twitter, that's our Twitter handle right there at Fenwick Sports. We're always doing game day graphics, game day updates, coaches acknowledgments, student athlete acknowledgments, student athlete of the weeks. So again, just using Twitter as a great way to use it as a platform to show off our student athletes, show off our coaches, and show off how well our programs are doing on and off the court. So make sure you get with coach or take a look at our Twitter. and follow all of our sport-specific Twitter accounts as well. Every single sport has a Twitter account. So if you have any questions about that, please reach out to Coach. One of the biggest, also one of the biggest things we have here is the Bishop Fenwick Athletics app. That's a great one-stop shop, just like the website, where you can find rosters, schedules, Twitter updates, anything that you can, your little heart can desire, you will find on there as well. So either the FenwickSports.org website, athletic website, or the Bishop Fenwick Athletics app, you can find all of your information through there. Ticketing, just like the fall and the spring, we'll be using hometown ticketing. Please go to fenwicksports.org to purchase your tickets. That is the link right there to purchase tickets for the spring. There is an updated ticketing process for the spring. Sorry, I meant to change that, but it should say spring. Basically, the biggest change is going to be that there is going to be a spring season pass. It will be $150 for all boys volleyball games, boys lacrosse, girls lacrosse, and track events, and that pass is good for 4, and that is $150, and that'll be a $3 fee as well. That is what hometown charges for athletic passes. If your student athlete or student hasn't received their free athletic pass, for them, please make sure they go online and use their student ID minus that first 0 to redeem their free athletic pass. Please know that no tickets will be sold at the gate. All will be pre-purchased online through that FenwickSports.org website. Please, we will not have any cash at the gate, so please do not bring any cash. But you can bring cash for concessions though. Athletic passes, please know that they are not accepted for any OHSAA sanctioned games. The OHSAA has their own set of tickets and protocols and guidelines for their games. So please know that the athletic pass that you are purchasing or will purchase, it will not go for any OHSAA sanctioned games. Ticket purchasing for away games, for those teams and sports that have away visiting, ticketing information. This will be communicated to the families and student athletes once we receive it from that visiting school. So please just be patient with us. Some of them are doing hometown, some of them are doing cash. Every school is different, so please just be patient with us, and we will get that information out to you as soon as possible. COVID guidelines. This is, again, we're continuing to stay with the mask to stay and test to play guidelines. Basically, asymptomatic student athletes can test when they were initially exposed, and if negative, are able to return to play immediately. They must wear, I'm almost positive they must wear a mask though for the next 5 days. And they must test after day 5 just to ensure that they are still continuing to have a negative test. But if you have any questions about COVID, about the guidelines, about this, about that, I am not the expert. Sue Ebding is our school nurse, and Amy Anders, our athletic trainer, can be a great resource as well. So their emails are both down there. So feel free to reach out to them if you have any questions. And also Sue Ebding will be the main point of contact for all COVID. She will be sending out all information when it comes to COVID. There may be some instances where I have to send out information for COVID, but most communication, return dates, exposure dates, that, will come from Sue. Some important dates and information. Picture day is going to be March 14th. That is right after school in the Aux gym, usually starting around 3:30. So that's just a great date to have. Mark on your calendar. Senior signing day, we were looking at April 19th. The details for that are to be announced. We're trying to decide if we want to do it during the day or if we want to do it after school. So please be on the lookout for more details if you have a student athlete or a senior student that will be signing to play at the next level. Team parent meetings. If Coach has not talked to you already about this, but Coach will be sending out an email on dates and times of when they will have their team parent meetings. This is just a general parent meeting, but the coaches kind of go a little bit more into depth of what their expectations are, what their guidelines are, what they expect. So again, please be on the lookout for Coach sending an email for those team parent meetings. If you have any questions, I know I do talk a little bit fast. I know I can get through this kind of quick. This is like second nature to me, but I know a lot of you may or may not have questions. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email myself or Alex. So if you guys have any questions, please reach out. But I'm looking forward to a great and fun, enjoyable spring season. Hopefully, COVID does not throw a wrench in things like it kind of did for the fall and in the winter. But again, looking forward to a fun spring and looking forward to finishing out the year. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out.